Hi everyone, Debbie here. Welcome back. I'm going to alter a composition notebook. So what I'm looking for is a notebook that I can plan road trips in, that I can keep receipts, travel receipts in, that I can put coupons in when I send away, because I do that a lot before I travel. If I'm going to a certain area, I will go online and I will order coupon books and things like that, just to make travel a little cheaper and a little more fun. And just by doing that, you sometimes get ideas for things to do that you don't know about otherwise, if that makes sense. But I want a notebook that I can do that in. But my problem is, I don't want it to be this big. I like a nice big tall one like this, but I'm thinking that I'd like to take about this much off of this notebook. So I don't know if that makes sense to anybody, but I'm thinking that I'd like something that I can just put down this way in the side pocket in the door of my car. I don't fly anywhere. I'm not the beach resort, go to Mexico, Cuba, sit on the beach by the pool. I'm not that person. When I go on a road trip, I like to drive. I like to make stops on the way. I like to make stops on the way back. If anything looks interesting and it just strikes my fancy, I'll just stop and check it out. I like going to historical places, battlegrounds, museums. Like, I love going to museums. I like doing that sort of thing. So I think what I'm going to do is put it on 2.5 inches. And then there's that little bit there. So it'll be just a little less than 3 inches that I'm going to take off. And I think that'll be okay for me. And I'm just going to put this on the 2 lines that I drew. And then I'm just going to go down like that. So I have my line that I'm going to cut on. I'm looking for my self-healing mat and I don't see it. I don't know what I did with it the last time I used it. But I don't want to cut through my table. I've got this arrow here. I just don't want to cut through my table. So I'm going to cut this, I am going to put this right on my line. I'm going to put my blade out. I'm just going to hold down tight on my ruler, but I'm not going to push very hard on my blade. I'm just going to make sure that I keep it traveling right down the edge of my ruler, and that's why a metal ruler is perfect. Never move your ruler and just keep cutting. And you've got a pretty clean cut when you do that. So I'm not even going to bother rounding my corners because I don't mind that they're not rounded. Oh, that's so nice and smooth. So I know a lot of people love their rounded corners, but I don't care one way or the other. And a corner is a corner to me. So I have 2 of these. I haven't got into this one yet, and there's a lot of this one left, but it's so beautiful that when I saw this paper pad at Dollarama again for $4, it's a 12 by 12 paper pad. There's 50 sheets in here, and like it's just, oh, look at that. Like the map, the compass. This is perfect. Actually, that is pretty perfect. Like one sheet would do the front and the back of this. So yeah, let's just do that. Do I want to do that, or do I want to cut it down and move it over a little bit? I think I want it, I'm going to take about 1.5 inches off of this. So I didn't take very much of that off. I still get the effect of this, which is what I want. I want that compass on the front. I'm going to go down like this. I'm definitely going to put that on there like that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Just beautiful. Oh, I'm going to enjoy this so much. Yeah, I can't. As soon as I start making my journal, I made a travel journal about 4 years ago. And if you saw what I was doing, I just took my finger and went down and put a little crease on the back, on the paper, along the edge where I wanted it to be, instead of taking a measurement. And now I'm going to leave just a hair extra on there. Isn't that beautiful? It's going to be so pretty. So my North Compass, my North America on my map. So far, all my road trips have been in North America because, like, that's where you can drive to, right? So I think I'm going to put some of this down, just a couple strips, and then I'm going to go over it with my permanent glue stick. So where's my glue stick? There. There. To pull that up. This way I don't get glue on my tape. So let's see. Let's see if we can get this on here. Okay. This is going to be gorgeous. I like it. So I have a little wee bit that I have to trim off. And then I'm just going to take my sanding block. And I'm going to take anything that's on there that's extra off, which is just these little wee bits like this. I love that. And if you go around with the sanding block, it kind of, you can do this and you can make the edges look a little bit worn, like it's been around for a while. I love it. Just love it. Beautiful. Beautiful cover. So I've got that. And then I think I'm going to put a piece of this on the back as well. Should I try to even get this off? I don't even think I'm going to try to take that off. I absolutely love the dark to the light on the outside. So I'm pretty much going to just glue this down on the back. My son and my husband are out in the other room, and it's Super Bowl Sunday, guys. I don't watch football. Yeah, but they're enjoying it. So I thought I'd just come in here and do something for myself while they were watching the football game. So I'm going to try to put this about the halfway mark. And then just work it down. Press it down really good along your edges. I know I put my glue and stuff, but I don't want my front cover to come off. And this is thin paper. So like you can literally just take it off like this. There, isn't that perfect? So I think that that is the perfect cover for a travel journal. There's 180 pages in here, and I don't think I need 180 pages. So I think I need about 30 pages for each trip, maybe. But I think what I'm going to do is go from the center, and I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to rip out 2 pages. Just like that. Then I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to rip out 2 pages. And I'm going to do that all the way to the front. I'm going to, because I'm right-handed and I think it's easier for me to rip my pages this way, I'm going to turn my book around. Now I'm going to go to my middle again. You got to get right to that center where your stitching line goes down. And you can only do this safely when you've got a stitched book, which is why I love these. I'm going to do the same thing, 4 pages. And then because I've taken I've taken these out from the other side, so these should just pull out really easily. Oops, I must have counted there. That's the page that needs to come out. I didn't want to rip an extra one. So that has made my book a lot smaller. And the reason that I want it smaller is because now I'm going to start adding things on the inside. So I want to pick a page for the inside of both of my covers. This is the full book. Let me just show you these. Look at these. This is the most amazing book. So you can see why I bought this paper pad again when it came out at Dollarama. Postcards. Oh, what better than postcards for a travel book? Yeah, it's letters. Oh, gosh. So anyway, that's the whole book, guys. So if you see that, it's called Elizabeth. And it is beautiful. And I'm going to look for that. Do I have it in here? I hope I do. Postcards. Yes. Postcards. Definitely. So I think I might measure here. 4.5 inches, and I still have a little bit left there because if you put your papers all right to the edge, they're going to start bunching up. So I'm going to go 5 inches. So 5 inches. So when I open this up and I take this and I put it, how do I want it to go? I think I want this on the inside. So I'm going to put this on the inside here, like this. I'm going to pull it out a little wee bit when I glue it down here. So just leave it out a little bit like this so that it doesn't push the papers together when you're opening and closing your book. You'll get just way too much bulk that way. So I'm going to glue my cover. Oh, there's flies in here. It's been so mild. It's just crazy, guys. We've got, you know, those Asian beetles. We live in an older house, and we've got those Asian beetles coming out of the windows, and it's just been so mild. So mild. It's February in Canada. It's been plus temperatures for the last 3 days now in New Brunswick here where we are, and yesterday it was actually +6. Today it was like +4. Beautiful, just beautiful. I'm going to sand this off because I think that does the best job. And then I am going to put this piece, I want it up further like this. So this is going to go up here. But I like that says Hotel George too. And then you can see the back of this postcard. So maybe down here. Yeah, maybe this end of it. So the hardest part is trying to figure out what part of your papers to use. Especially when there's so many awesome images on a one sheet like that. So again, I'm going to glue this. And a nice line right down like this. I make sure my edges are wet. It dries so fast in here when it's this warm. And then I'm going to put it down, leaving just a bit. Just a bit along here. So I've left a little bit of a space. So this sponge is just an amazing tool for this. So once I've got my edge, and always starting at the top and pushing away from your paper, then you can just go up and down that line a little bit. If this was a napkin, it would just fall off of here. But because it's scrapbooking paper, it takes a little more. There, so I have my front cover and I have my back cover. Absolutely beautiful. Let's get that little extra piece off right there. All my edges feel really good. And sanding it like that means that when your hand is rubbing over the outside, it's not grabbing that paper and trying to pull it back off. The only thing is you get a little bit of the dust from your sanding sponge on your tables. I have this. I want to put a little bit of a pocket here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut myself a piece of this paper again. I'm going to cut it about 5 inches. Because I can cut it down from there, but I want to make sure that I have the exact part that I want for my 4-inch pocket. Doesn't have to be a very deep pocket. So I'm going to fold this. So if I do this, I think you get what I'm doing. So if I put it down to here, that's where it goes, right there. That's going to be the bottom of my pocket right there. And that's going to be the outside of my pocket, maybe in just a little wee bit, just a little bit. But before I do that, I'm going to glue this down because this is thin, so I want it to be the double paper. And because I'm doing the double paper, I'm going to have a finished edge where the fold is at the top here. So it's less likely to tear here when I'm putting coupons or a card or something like that in and out of it. There. There. Oh goodness. I should have waited for my glue to dry just a little bit before I did that. Let me see if I can clean that up a little bit. Even a sharp blade won't cut paper if it's the slightest little bit damp. I have to know my exact length. So right about there. There. It only takes a minute for that to dry. I was just being just a bit impatient. And there. Okay. So I went to all of that trouble just because I want this little pocket to go right here, and I want it to be perfect. My pocket's going to go like this, so I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to put a bead of glue here, here, and here. Make sure that it's right side up. This side's upside down because it's folded. I love how I can get a nice tiny little bead with this glue. So now I'm going to put my postcard right there, and I'm going to try to line up my postcard and my ship at the bottom. And I think I'm good. And let's make sure that this is all down. Whoops. I moved it. Okay. Let's get that little bit of glue off of there. And you can't see it, but it's going to be a good spot for something like that. Let's let that dry before I start pulling on it. There. Let's just let that dry. Okay, so I want my first page to be like a "this book belongs to" type of thing. What piece of paper am I going to use? I really like the rest of this. I think it would be okay if I just put the rest of this page on here so that it kind of was this when I opened it, and I've got a really sturdy front page then. I think it would be. Sure, why wouldn't it be? Yeah. I second guess myself all the time. Now I'm going to trim this off. And now, because these pages are just paper now, I can't use my sanding block anymore. I have to rely on my scissors. There. There. And this is why I pulled all those extra papers out. So now I want to put another piece of that paper on here. I just really like this paper. right here as well. This side maybe. I really like it. From here, like this. And then I still have all this goodness to use again. So yeah, I'm gonna cut this. And don't worry about all these scraps because they are definitely not gonna go to waste. So this is gonna go here on this page. I'm gonna love this book when it's done, by the way, because these papers are making me happy already. Oops. I just wasn't getting that lined up at the bottom at all. So, and I can pull this down and finish gluing this. So I definitely am not a very tidy crafter. I'm just a messy, messy girl when I'm in here. There. Okay, so I gotta cut this off, and I might just ink my edges up on these pages. Pretty hard under these lights to see this white page on the white page. The paper is almost identical in color. There. So I have that. Now, I am going to ink this up a little bit. There, darken that down so that little bit of paper that's showing right there isn't quite as noticeable. Okay, so I'm going to take this teeny tiny strip here that I cut off of, I don't even know where I cut it off of. This cut off of here, I guess. So, but anyway, I'm going to take this and I'm going to glue it on the outside edge right here. Do it on the right page. So the page that I just did, the second page, I'm putting that on the inside right here along that edge. It doesn't matter if it's a little short there. I can trim it a little wee bit just at the top here. And I'm also going to go ahead and I'm going to ink this section right here. Just that, because that's all that's going to show. And you can't even see that very much, but it's there. I started off just wanting my inside page not to be, when I opened my book, not to be just a white page. And then I thought, well, why waste that? Why not turn this into something useful? So when I added this page, I flipped and left a blank in the middle, then added this to this page. And now I'm going to take a circle punch, a nice big 2.5 inch circle punch. I got to look straight at it to be able to find the middle. But I'm going to kind of eyeball the middle. And I'm going to take just a part of a circle out of there. So now I've got a thumb, what do you call that? A thumb hole? So now I've got that. So I'm going to glue down here, and I'm going to glue down here. Let's do a little bit. I want this pocket to hold a few extra things. So I'm going to use my wide tip on my glue. And I'm just going to put a bead down here like this. This has its very own spreader on it. So down there, down there, and I'm going to do a little bit here because I want this to stick together really well. Then I'm just going to close my book. And when I open it up, I should have my first page, but my first page now is this full picture all the way across, and I've got this amazing pocket right here. So let's pull that off of there. I got a little glue right there. So that's where I'm at so far. I think I'm going to end this video here. So I hope you enjoyed my little composition notebook conversion. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend if you'd like to do that, or just share it on your social media. Also, if you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, I would love if you'd do that before you left. Come back and see what I'm up to next. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, bye-bye for now, everyone. Have a wonderful day.